Okay, so here I am in this meeting at work, and I know you guys know what this is like. There's a pretty important topic being discussed, and I have this really great idea of what I want to say in my mind. And because of self-doubt, I kind of question whether or not it's kind of the best idea or not, so I don't say anything. And of course, the guy across the table says exactly what I was thinking, and he suddenly becomes the hero of the day. Why? Because I wasn't confident enough to speak up when I was supposed to, and I actually missed an important opportunity to show my thought process and be able to influence that room. Has this ever happened to you? I know we could just pinch ourselves when this happens. Well, if it has, you are in the right place today, because we are going to talk about how to speak up, how to have the courage to speak up boldly and confidently so that we can get the opportunities, respect, and credibility that you deserve in your career or even in your business. This is Keisha, your career and business confidence coach, equipping you to win by owning your inherent brilliance, eliminating your shrinking tendencies so that you can dominate in your field or industry. Click on the subscribe button below so that you will be notified of when I upload my weekly Wednesday videos, and you will receive tips on how to blast through self-doubt and conquer your fear so that you can build a business or career that you absolutely love. And while you're in the link below, check out a copy of my free ebook, 10 Confidence Building Strategies that you can implement now. Powerful, proactive, engaging, influential communication is one of the main things that can really make or break your ability to build a thriving business or career. But so many women in particular struggle with speaking up and having the courage to own their brilliance through their communication patterns. And there are a few reasons for this. If you have been following my blog or this YouTube channel, you know I'm all about over-delivering. So even though I promise to give you some tips on how to build the courage to speak up confidently, the first thing I want to talk about are about 4 reasons why we don't speak up the way that we need to, and then we'll talk about how we can overcome those hindrances. So one of the reasons we don't own our voice very well is based on how we were raised. The messages that we were given as children, as young girls, that told us that we needed to hold our voices back. I remember one of the things that I was told when I was growing up, for example, is that children are to be seen and not heard. And then all of a sudden, I turned 22, I entered in a corporate America job, and I was expected to speak up boldly. How's that even possible? We've spent the last 18 years suppressing ourselves, or the first 18 years of our lives not speaking up, and then all of a sudden we are supposed to own the room and speak up boldly. It took us time to learn how to suppress ourselves and not to speak up. So it is going to take a little bit of time to learn to own our voice, to speak confidently. So be patient with yourself. It is okay. It is going to take some time, but you can do it. You know, I'm curious. I want you to share with me in the comments below what messages that you got that might have been different from what I got when you were growing up that really affects you to this day and cause you to hesitate and speak up. So another reason we don't speak up is this whole fear of rejection thing. We don't want to say the wrong thing and ruffle feathers just in case people disagree with us or dislike us. And we have such an innate desire to conform, most people do anyway, that we don't want to say anything that we know people are going to think is either stupid or they're going to disagree with. So this is another reason that we don't speak up as quickly and as confidently as we should. The third reason we don't speak up is very related to number 1. It's cultural norms, also based on how we were raised. But the difference is maybe we were from a culture like in Eastern cultures like Asia, where there's a deference to authority. There's a respect for people in specific positions in the way that you don't challenge them, or even older people. And so being in another culture, working in another culture like in the US, it may be a little bit hard because it actually goes against how you were raised, again, based on your culture. Now, if you're the type of person that does not like to be in the limelight, you don't want to be the center of attention, you feel a lot more comfortable being in the background, this is going to be another challenge for you to speak up and own the room because you're so used to hiding, you're so used to sitting in the comfort of being an introvert that you don't want to push yourself out and put yourself out there, because the reality is that it's kind of risky. So I'm going to challenge you to push yourself outside of your comfort zone a bit. Now, the final reason that I'll speak about today on why a woman may not necessarily want to speak up with conviction and authority is because when we do speak with a little bit of conviction and a little bit of strength in our voice, as my mother says, put a little bass in your voice, it comes across as what people will call the B word, the bitch word. And unfortunately, it is a double standard that when a guy speaks with conviction and authority, they are respected and seen as assertive and convicted. However, when a woman does it, it is seen as a negative. And that is something that we just have to figure out how to deal with. We have to push back against it and learn how to own our voices. But this is another thing that causes women to hold back a little bit. So now that we've explored some of the reasons as to why women in particular may not be bold enough or brave enough to speak up in a meeting, now we're going to talk about how can you build the courage to speak up confidently and own your voice in a room so that you will be able to influence. Tip number 1 is recognize that you have earned the right to be in the room, so speak up. You are expected, if you are invited to the meeting, it means you are there to say something. You are there to contribute, and you have an equal right just as everybody else does. And it is time for us to own that right and to step fully into that right and not to back down from it. I will tell you, all the time, people are not going to necessarily be ready. And we obviously have to practice emotional intelligence, ensure that we say things in a way that is not combative and confrontational. But if we have a perspective, we're invited to share it. For example, I was in a newly person appointed to a human resources role. And I remember specifically one of the managers, a much older manager than me, came up to me and said, we needed to do something specific for an employee. Actually, 3 of the managers came up and said we needed to do something specific for this employee. And I said, no, that is a horrendous idea, and it is going to backfire. Did they listen? No, they did not. And I said to them, look, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to make whatever decision you want, but this is strongly against my recommendation. And here are the reasons why I think this is going to be a bad idea. You are going to create a monster in this situation. They didn't listen. They went ahead and did the thing against my advice. And as I predicted, a month later, it backfired. Guess what? After it backfired, I was able to win so much respect and credibility from these people because I was vocal in my disagreement. I did it in a way that wasn't combative, but it was clear what my recommendation was, and that if they did a specific action, why, based on my experience and my expertise, I knew it wasn't going to work. So the moral of the story is, you are there, you are hired, you are being paid to give a expertise. It is the business, the organization's decision on whether or not they're going to take your recommendation or not. But make sure you go on the record. And if things work out your way, it could turn out, even if they say no and they disagree initially, the situation may turn back around, and in the end, you may win credibility with them because you are not shy in speaking your opinion and given your expertise, and they will come to respect you as a person that will give your honest point of view despite opposition. Okay, tip number 2, I hope you have your pen down because this is a powerful one. Speak up first. Many of us wait too long to speak in a meeting, and this is a really bad idea because the longer you wait to speak is, number 1, is the more apprehensive you get. And number 2, when you're having these things in your mind that you want to say, you're actually not present in the room and you're not able to participate as much because instead of listening, you're thinking about what you want to say, and eventually you don't say it because too much time has passed. Maybe somebody else says what you wanted to say, or your nerves get in the way. So if you're speaking up within the first few minutes of a meeting, First of all, you get the apprehension out of the way because you've just done it. And you set the tone. Even if it's just asking a question, you don't even have to have a powerful statement to open up the meeting with. Maybe you ask a point of clarification, but the mere act of opening your mouth sets the tone to yourself as well as with the people in the room that you will be participating in this discussion, and you are a force to be reckoned with. So if you know what the topic is before you get in the room, I would highly advise you or suggest to think before the meeting 1 or 2 points that you want to say, and try to bring those points up if they make sense or are applicable in the first few minutes of the meeting, because you set the tone, you get it out the way, and that way you can actually be more present and your nerves get out of the way earlier on because you started out the meeting speaking up. Tip number 3 in becoming more brave to speak up in meetings is simply to change how you measure success. Look, when we're building a new skill, a lot of times we put too much pressure on ourselves. We try to, for example, the first time, a big analogy that I'll use, the first time I did a half marathon, my goal was not to finish the half marathon in less than 90 minutes. My goal was just to cross the finish line. It didn't matter if it took 2.5 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours. That didn't matter. I just wanted to finish the race. Now, once I completed my second and my third, I took a step back and I said, okay, now that I know that I can finish the race, now I want to do it under 2 hours. Now I want to do it under 90 minutes, right? It's the same thing when you're building this new skill in speaking. You're not going to go into the biggest, most heated debate with senior executives in the company and insert yourself and own the room and dominate and have the biggest executive presence. That is an impossible and too monumental of a goal or task to accomplish. You're going to set yourself up for failure. Start with something as simple as, if you usually don't say anything in the meeting, a big win is to say 1 sentence. That's it. Or maybe you speak twice in the meeting. That is a big win. And as you begin to build the muscle, build the competency, build the skill in speaking up, then you take it to the next level. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to try to put my point across in the most heated of debates. I'm going to try to influence the person that is most difficult to influence in the meeting. I'm going to try to close this deal and be the one that closes it in this discussion. But you have to start somewhere. Start with baby steps. Don't overwhelm yourself and set yourself up for failure by trying to do too much at once. So again, change how you measure success. Okay, people, I feel like that was juicy. I hope you enjoyed and got something out of this video as much as I enjoyed providing it. So put in the comments below which one of the tips you love the most. Which one did you find most beneficial, most helpful? If you like this video, share it with a friend and comment as well as subscribe. Don't forget to pick up a copy of the free ebook, 10 confidence building strategies that you can implement now. Remember, you are not meant to shrink down lower, so rise up and own your power. See you next week.